Hey, love, before we go any further, just know this. I'm not here to be someone you follow, and I'm not here to teach you how to live your life. I'm walking my path, and I'm speaking it out loud as I go. And your path is going to look different, as it should. Sometimes, when something real is spoken, it cuts through the noise just enough for you to hear yourself again. So if something in this hits or lands or stirs something in you, I invite you to pause there. Not because I said it, but because you felt it. You don't need to rush to change anything. You don't need to turn this into a plan. Just don't ignore yourself, because your life isn't built by following someone else's voice. It's built by trusting your own. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and stay rooted in yourself while you listen. This is just a conversation. Happy day, loves. So I have had the most incredible conversations today, and I'm feeling so inspired and so clear in the things that have been going on this week and like the other conversations that I've released. And I'm just so proud of how far I've come, and like so grateful that all these steps have led to where I'm at. And now I'm finally to a place where I'm like, okay, if I would have known this back in the day, maybe I wouldn't have had to take all those steps. But all those steps led to a really, really beautiful life. And like, that's the point, right? Is I love the humans that I have in my life. I love the things that I have walked through. I love all the experiences that I've had, even when those experiences were not the things that were necessarily what I wanted. They always led to something beautiful on the other side of it. And what I'm starting to realize is those things are so because I have made them so. I have always been a person that has said everything happens for a reason. I have always, since I was a kid, leaned into my faith and my trust that everyone is doing the best that they can with what they have. And that people truly are good people at the core of them. They just have other things that they've picked up along the way, right? Like all of us. My gift, my magic, the reason that I have created the life that I have is because everything that happens, I choose to make it happen for me. And I have done this with every experience. And I'm realizing now just how rare that is, which explains why when I share the story of my sexual assault when I was 15, certain people tell me that I'm a victim blamer just for sharing my story, sharing what happened to me, how I moved through it, and what I did with it from there. Because those people view those experiences from a different lens, which is what I'm now understanding. There's two ways to look at everything in life. It's either happening for you or it's making you a victim. And I don't say that with any malice or any hatred. It's just awareness. And I remember being that way when it came to money. So like there are certain things in life that I have not let bring me down, because I always make it happen for me. But when it came to money, I always would fight for my victimhood. There's never enough. Like, I'd get pissed off at money because I was looking at this tool, this object outside of me, and I could see how it was impacting so many people, and like so many people are going without because of this fucking money. But it's not money. It is the victim less than mindset. That is what it is. It's never been money. It has been the fact that I don't believe that people are broken. And I refuse to fight for that. I refuse to fight for someone to think that there's something wrong with them. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to argue their feelings, because feelings are all valid, because feelings are our choice. And two people can go through the same experience and have two drastically different feelings. Never going to argue feeling. But you can use that feeling to let it move things outside of you, and then make a choice on the other side to make it happen for you. Or you can choose to let it harm you. And like, I still don't fully understand, but I also know, like, I've never let anything bring me down because of that mentality. I have walked through many things in my life that would have broken so many people, and I have seen it. But yet I have come out on the other side like, it is what it is, happened. This is how I made it work for me, and let it go, move on, let's go. Like, I don't let shit bring me down because I made a choice not to. And then I'm sitting here like, am I being a bitch? Like, am I being unkind? Am I not being supportive of other people? And it's like, no, this is what true unconditional support and actual respect looks like. Which is crazy wild to me, because I have been skirting the line of that question for over a year of like, what is respect? Because what I see is being taught as respect is not fucking respect. I've actually been told, parenting, you're teaching kids how to conform, you're teaching them through punishment. And then on the other side, that's how they learn to respect you. And then eventually they love you. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. Because what you're telling me is you're teaching them to conform to your way of living, completely disrespecting their own life force, their own energy, what their life tells them to do, their magic that they came here to shine. You're telling them to ignore all that, live life your way, and that's respect. And then they grow up and live that way, and they become you. And then when they choose to do the things the same way you did, which is, I'm going to choose my way now, they then tell you they're done, and you call them disrespectful. But you have never once respected the child, the human, because you've never given them choice. We don't speak choice into our kids. We speak a whole lot of control and conformity because we're so afraid that if we don't, they're going to grow up and they're going to fuck up their life, and they're not going to be able to survive, And that is our own selfish feeling of responsibility because we don't want to fuck up. Because we love. Because we take it so seriously. But life, yes, it's serious, but not as serious as we make it. And I'll be honest, I was one of those people. I did. And I still have moments where I have to remind myself we're not forcing anymore. We are choosing joy. We are choosing to live this life fully, freely, and unapologetically as fuck. Because that's what we all deserve, is to actually enjoy and love this life before we fucking die, before we retire, before we have some freak accident that takes us away. But yet, that's what we are teaching our children. We are teaching them that life sucks. You have to do these things. You have to pay your bills. You have to be successful. You have to make money. You have to survive. And then you sacrifice for yourself, for your family, and for your kids, and for everyone else outside of you. And then eventually, someday, you might get to retire. And then you get to enjoy your life and do whatever you want. How many adults and kids are not making it to retirement? How many have made it to retirement and still can't afford to pay their fucking bills? And life just keeps getting louder and louder and louder. So I say, this is what I hand my children. We have choice. Even when there's no choice, there's choice. Because I can choose how I feel about it at any given moment. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to ignore the feelings that rise in my body. Like I have said on previous episodes, if I am pissed, I'm going to allow myself to be pissed. But what is crazy to me is the more I lean into this choice of I get to feel however I feel, however I want to experience this life, the more joy I am experiencing. Even when shit is hard. Even when I'm having conversations that are extremely hard, I'm like, damn, that really went great. Like that was such an amazing opportunity for me to practice. Because I get to pay bills. I get to be a mom to these kids. I get to have hard conversations that matter. I get to choose who is a part of my life and what that means for me. I get to choose how I become an entrepreneur. I get to choose how to make money. I get to choose how I show up in this life. And I get to trust and have faith that because I am claiming it, because I am choosing it, I am speaking that into the energy. I can trust it will come. And every single time it does. And whether you are a religious person, a spiritual person, doesn't matter. If you believe in energy, you know that when you ask, you receive. You just may not always like the answer you receive. I have taught myself to enjoy every answer because they all happen for me. Excuse me. And it happens that way because I made it so. And here I am coughing because I am speaking truths that I have never let myself speak outside of me to other people, but yet I've felt this way my entire life. I was born with this gift of having faith and trust that everything is always working out. And it always has. but it hasn't been easy. I have lived a life that is really fucking hard. Like I said, I have experienced sexual assault. I have had people take advantage of my body. I have had people mentally and verbally and physically abuse me. And I have made every single one of those experiences happen for me because I refuse to give my fucking power away to anything outside of myself anymore. I am the creator, the co-creator of this life, and I am not going to hand my power, the power that, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in universe, but this energy that flows within me, I refuse to hand that to someone outside of me to make me feel less than the amazing miracle that I am. And I know that I am a lot. I have been told. But I refuse to feel like I am too much ever again. Because I was just in the wrong rooms. Instead, I created my own room. And I shine this light. And I shine this beauty into the world because I understand now what it is that I am saying. Sometimes, not always. But I also trust that I am not saying anything from a place of malice. I am not saying anything from a place of not loving or caring about humanity, because that is the deepest truth I carry, which is I fucking love humanity. I love every human on this planet, no matter what they have done, no matter how they have shown up. I love them unconditionally because I accept every human as they are, because they are an amazing miracle soul, and they are not less than that. We will always have consequences for our actions. I have faith and trust they all happen the way that they need to. That does not mean that we are broken or less than who we are, which is souls having a wild human experience, even if we don't agree with how it's happening. Now, that does not mean I am making excuses for people. I'm just refusing to choose to let that make me feel smaller anymore. I'm refusing to let the outside world dictate how I feel about my life each and every day, which is that it's such a gift to be alive, to breathe this air and be a mom and to make mistakes and to play and fuck up and make messes and piss people off sometimes. And I refuse to sit here and hold on to just how negative those things can be, because a lot of those things lead to a lot of fucking beautiful things too. Like when someone cheats on their partner, I know, how dare they? But at least you're freed now and you can move on. Release something that's not for you, because I believe that's your energy freeing you from a relationship you shouldn't be in. That's not for you. And you, instead of claiming it, because you probably knew that, but you ignored your body because the world has told us that we can't listen to the body, that we have to listen to the brain, and we need to fight and make things work even if they're not aligned. And no more in my world. If the body says no, it's a no. If the body says it's not safe for me, it is not safe for me. No more force for growth. Because I believe sustainable growth and sustainable change comes from a place of when you are so safe in your body, that's when you move. And those that know me, they have walked this journey with me over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And I have been skirting around, letting my voice be seen and tiptoeing in the waters here and tiptoeing over here and like, well, maybe I can do this over here. Maybe I'm a coach. Maybe I'm this. Maybe I'm that. It doesn't fucking matter what I do. I came here to be free. I came here to be authentic and let my energy shine. And that doesn't look like forcing my body to conform to somebody else's blueprint. It means blowing up the blueprint other people are handing me and creating my own, because my body is sovereign and knows the fucking way. And then I share that as permission for other people, because someone has to show us that there is another way. It doesn't have to be so heavy all the time. It doesn't have to be a life of dread. And our kids get to love their lives and they not be fuck ups for doing so. And we're not fuck ups for loving, letting them explore that in their own ways. If they don't go to college, it's okay. If they take a detour and do something else, trust that they will find their way, because what our kids has never, they've never needed us to tell them the way. What they need is to be reminded that they know the way if they trust their body. And this is the thing I will leave you with. In my life, I would rather my kids live fully, freely, and unapologetically as fuck, loving every second of their life, and it be shorter than 80 years of fucking drudgery. As I look at my family members and I look at my ancestors and I look at all these people who have hated their life and they've sacrificed so many things and didn't shine a light into the beautiful human that they were, out of fear, out of survival. And I refuse to hand that cycle back to my kids. I refuse to hand that cycle back to the people that I meet every single day. I will be a light and remind people that they are doing the best they can with what they have, and they are amazing just as they are, even as they're fucking up, and you can always choose a different identity. You are never stuck as one identity, ever, unless you let the people win. Unless you let something outside of you win. Take back your fucking power and live this life, because my God, it's such a gift. And when you do, you will feel the floodgates of energy and love pour through your body. And there will be times that it makes you cry, because you can remember that you felt this as a kid. You've always known. You've always known. Just forgot how to trust yourself. I'm here to remind you to trust the life that flows through your body and love yourself unconditionally, and everything in your world will rearrange from that. I promise. I stand on that. So that is my message for today. And I just send all of you so much love, so much joy, in a world that has told us there's no choice. Take back the one choice you have, which is how you fucking feel about things, and love your life. Do things that bring you joy. Rearrange your entire existence if that's what you need. Because you get to. You're no longer a small child, letting your family and parents and all these people outside of you, your teachers, nobody outside of you should have power over how you feel. Take it back and design a life that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning. Much love. If something in this stayed with you, if it shifted something or made you see your life a little clearer, hold on to that. Not tightly or forcefully, just enough to acknowledge that something in you responded. You don't need to prove anything from here. You don't need to rush into any change. Just stay connected to what you felt. Because that's how your path unfolds. Not by following someone else's way, but by recognizing your own way, moment by moment. I'm walking mine. You're walking yours. And sometimes our paths meet here. So take what's yours and let the rest fall away. Come back to yourself. Everything rearranges from there.
Flow like rivers, wild and free. Dive into oceans that call to thee. Breathe in the wind, let it carry your name. Unapologetic living is your claim. Let the waves whisper your story bold. Their rhythm eternal, their wisdom old. Echoes of dreams in the sea foam's dance. Find your truth, take the chance. The tide is rising, beckoning your soul. Crash through the doubts, make yourself whole. The world is vast and the water's deep, where courage wakes and fear's asleep. In every droplet you're alive again. With every ripple a new world begins. No need to hold back, embrace the stream. Unapologetic living, your lasting theme. Let the waves whisper your story bold. Their rhythm eternal, their wisdom old. Echoes of dreams in the sea foam's dance. Find your truth, take the chance. As we drift in life's great current, we find the freedom